What's going on? Hello, crypto world. It has been a few days. I'm having a busy weekend. My cousin's getting married this week. So if y'all have ever had to go to weddings, you know how much time and expenses that takes. It's always fun. Since I kind of missed the weekend with videos, and we're back here at Monday, nothing's really changed. Kind of in the same ballpark. Floating right around the 220 billion on the market cap. It's been like that for a hot minute. Yeah, you can see we're just up here. We're finally breaking into the 220s again. So it's been a week or so since we've tested that. Bitcoin dominance still up. Like I said, not really much has changed. We went completely dead ass flat for the whole weekend. It was pretty damn boring. Guess I should probably go to live screen. Probably help a little bit. Yeah, so we were just looking at this for a second. We're finally getting back into the 20s, but nothing too exciting yet. Everybody's already calling for breakouts a little bit. I would actually have preferred that this broke down first before moving up, but hey, the market doesn't care about me. That would have been a nice setup. I was talking to a buddy of mine. It was like kind of like I feel like whatever the move is from here, the breakout, it's going to be a false breakout and be a trap. I don't know. I just have a weird gut feeling. Let's just go ahead and jump into the Bitcoin chart real quick. Oh, I guess we can talk about some of these movers. Excuse me. So if you have, what do we got here? Let me scroll up. Of course, Bitcoin is always top dog. The last 24 hours, we have seen some movers. Oh gosh, I thought I already had filtered this off. Hold on, let me clean that up a little bit. There we go. Maker and Decred have been performing very well in the last week, and even just in the last 24 hours. IOTA as well. Tron has been a really big mover. Let's go look at a couple of those. Let's start with Decred. I believe they're out here in Austin, if my memory serves me correct. Their chart has been looking really nice, though. I'm not sure why I didn't play around with this one at all. Even on a daily, it looked real sexy. Here, basing for a while. Let me put my horizontals on here real quick. Just now getting real bullish on the daily, especially if this candle can close up here above in the upper range of the candle. We are clearing the longest term moving average here too on the 4 hour, and it's looking fairly bullish on that. And also the 1 hour has been looking real nice too. But this chart really looks best on the longer term, especially the daily. This consolidation is really nice, especially given that a lot of stuff was selling off hard, and Decred just pretty much went straight sideways. So that's a good sign. Let's see. Let's look at it on a dollar pair. Pretty much about the same formation. Get some horizontals. I guess I never look at Decred. That's kind of dumb considering it's right down the street. Alright. Looks pretty similar on the dollar pair. Almost identical. Yeah, looks very, very similar. So that's a good sign. Probably looking to come up here and test 50 to 55 bucks, it looks like. We don't have confirmation on the daily yet of being super bullish, but it is damn close. So Decred looking alright. Let's go back over here to Tron. That's what I wanted to pull up off of those. You know, Tron is pretty serious. I mean, look at all these exchanges that it's on. I mean, it's very well traded. Let's see. Let's go to the dollar. Tron dollar. Having a nice run here just in the last couple days. Up from about 2.2 cents all the way up here to bumping up against 3, so that's pretty nice. Getting real bullish on the daily after this nice engulfing candle over the 55, so that's a nice confirmation on a higher time frame. 4 hour looks great. 1 hour doesn't look as great, but this could just be the slight pause before really taking off here. But the 1 hour is starting to lose a little bit of momentum. Let's look at the 850. 850 looks really good. It's only on the hourly, which isn't as important since it's a super low time frame and you have support on most of the other time frames. So looks real good on the daily. It wouldn't be great to print this little spinning top here though. Doji spinning top type formation, but we still have a few hours left for the close, so let's kind of jump in the gun a little bit. From this though, this looks very bullish. I'd say pretty much if we hold above like 2.5 cents, not 25 cents. All right, Maker. I don't really know anything about Maker, but let's go find out where it's traded at and go peep it. It's on Bitfinex and hit BTC. That's it, huh? And it's a $700 coin. What the hell? Yeah, that's pretty weird. There's only 728,000 of them, so that's probably why. What's their ticker? Doesn't say. Well, we're gonna try to find it. Maker. Nope, not on there. Oh, there it is. MKR. MK Ultra. MKR. Yeah, wow. Maker has been on fire since September. Roughly, or at least doubling here. Still, I don't know anything about this coin. It's probably revolutionary and going to replace Bitcoin if I had to guess, you know, like everything. All joking aside, the TA is looking pretty good on it still. Getting a little extended. We're up here in the 40s on the daily. Up here in the 50s on the 4 hour. Yeah, a little bit extended, but nothing too bearish yet. You are getting the longest term moving average finally being able to get enough data to print here at about 600 bucks. So I'd say if it's above 600, this is looking fairly bullish. And again, I have no idea what this coin does. It's a smart contract platform on Ethereum. What the hell? Yeah, cool. So it's I don't get that. Smart platform, smart contracts on the smart contract coin. It's revolutionary, guys. You know it is. Alright, anyway, let's get out of there. Let's go to the real coin. Mama Bear. So, everybody's getting a little bit excited here. I'm not sure why yet. Well, okay, let me take that back. I guess I can get, since we're not between 65 and 66 anymore, that's kind of exciting. Especially on a closing basis. We kept, you know, getting in there and wicked down or tailed up or whatever, except for back here we had a little fake out to the upside. But again, we're all still inside of this triangle. So there's not really anything exciting here at all. Everybody's already like, oh, Bitcoin's about to break out. It's about to break out. You know, here's like a daily view of that. Let me go jump to big screen. There we go. Yeah, so, you know, it's still very neutral on the daily. It's still neutral on the 3-day. Obviously on the weekly, as we've talked about a lot. But on the 4 hour and the hourly, we have gotten into a pretty decent bullish posture. And even on the hourly, you can see the bears are finally in this weak zone, and they have not been in it since late September. So a couple of weeks roughly. But again, this is nothing to get excited about yet. We're still kind of already stalling right here on this longer term moving average. Pretty much since we were talking about videos last week, nothing has changed. We've just gone more sideways, more compression than you thought we could. This is probably the most sideways action that I can recall in trading Bitcoin. Besides 2015. 2015 had like the most crazy sideways action. But this is what it's kind of like making me feel like is 2015 is just like, oh my gosh, can we go sideways for any longer? If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me scroll back in time for a second. And all in this area here, oh, see that? That's a blackout box there. Let me change that. That ain't gonna help you. And neither is that. Alright, there we go. So yeah, kind of in this area, it pretty much was around 250 for an entire year, with only 2 little flash crashes down to about 150s, upper 100s. Yeah, so this is kind of what it's reminding me of, just this boring ass sideways movement, just wearing out everybody. If they can't shake you out, you'll get worn out. Can't remember who said that, but it's a little saying in trading. But here we are again, same thing. Is the only difference is we got this bears right here in the lower part in the weak zone, and they haven't been down here for a while, so we could see a nice little pop to 69, 68 or so, which will put us, or 68, which will put us right about to this trend line. But like I said, I'm not going to get too excited on that because there's no reason to. If we zoom back out, let me just look at price here. If we zoom out, I mean, we've got 1, almost 2, we'll call that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and pretty much 7 touches on this guy. All of them have been rejected. And they've all been rejected very harshly, too. They were not gradual. Now, the one thing that is a little bit different in this price action is we are slowly creeping up into it. We are not accelerating quickly into it like we did. And let me just draw a little bit on here. Here, right? Like we did here. Like we did here. And even from this low and that few candles right there. And you can even say this one. Those are all very similar steep patterns, right? So here, though, you can see we're way more horizontal than we were in these last ones. I'm not sure. Let me try to draw this. No, there's no wedge or anything. It's a really kind of funky pattern overall. I guess you just have this kind of symmetrical triangle from the longer term. And this, you could draw from these closes too, something along these lines, which would give you a trend line cross around 6,400, which is kind of funny because that's where we have been finding massive support in the recent couple weeks. Oh, all right, and so with this trend line cross is about 66. We talked the last video we made, 666, pretty much 6 all the way across was hardcore resistance. We're finally flirting with that today. Are we going to be able to take it out? Nobody knows. But everyone's already getting a little excited that Bitcoin's breaking out. I'm not believing that at all just quite yet. Like I said earlier, I'd rather have this breakout to one way, and that's likely going to be a bear trap or a bull trap, in my opinion. I think that it's very highly likely whatever action breaks out of here, and we're just compressing more and more and more. And you know, why the hell not compress all the way into this damn triangle? I mean, it's been doing it for way longer than anyone thought it could. So why not do it for another week and just ping pong in here? We could get right up against, hell, we could kind of just stall out right here at this 67.5 level, then roll back over, go right back to like 65, mid 65s. And I mean, it could easily just consolidate in here and do nothing until we get all the way to the apex. Now that usually never happens. Usually don't go all the way to the apex. But given how damn slow this is and how freaking neutral it is, I mean, on every metric, pretty much any oscillator or internal metric you use is just massive flatness. I guess I will get a little bit bullish if we can close above this for a short run to this trend line, and given that it's only freaking $70 away from here. I mean, it's pretty likely it's going to touch this. Do be careful though, with everyone getting kind of excited. I know CNBC even had some people today talking about it's bullish and stuff this morning. But don't get too excited if this breaks out, right? A lot of people, everyone and their mom will get long here, guaranteed. Man, that is a really pretty arrow, isn't it? Everybody and their mom will definitely get long right there. You can bet your ass when it breaks out of this. If you go on TradingView and other stuff, I mean, everybody has the same triangle drawn. They're waiting for the same things, like I talk about all the time. We're watching the same movie. And everyone's going to load up, I believe, when you get right about here. But, you know, that's going to be a really dangerous spot to load up on, because likely what will happen is it'll come up here and at least come back and test, you know, somewhere on this trend line, depending how far it breaks out. This could come out and do something like this, right? And then get everybody real excited, because we haven't seen, you know, above 7K since back here in early September. Very briefly too, for only a couple of days before Goldman Sachs, and I'm putting quotes up, ruined that party. But yeah, so do be very careful. And this goes, oh, sorry about that, hitting the mic. This goes both ways too, though. So this can go, you just need to be very, very careful here. I have not traded shit in like 4 days, 5 days. It's been really tough. I just kind of stepped away, hanging out with the fam, doing some stuff at work, you know, trying to focus on some other life things, learn a little bit, hone my skills, because it doesn't help do anything except make you go crazy watching this price action. Oh, dang, I did not mean to move that line. Watching this price action, which I know everyone is feeling that pain right now. So sometimes the best trade to make is to just not trade and go do something else, or trade a different asset class. You know, maybe you can go into stocks if you trade that, or futures, or something else. But yeah, when you just get no signals, I mean, what are you going to try to get in here and scalp for, like, you know, 80 bucks? It's just really dangerous, and you're likely just to get chopped up. So again, sometimes one of the best trades to make is to not trade. Now, the exponential moving averages that I have set up on here, which are the 21, 55, 144, and 377, those are all about to come up here and test on the longest term. Again, they've been even sideways, so even moving averages are compressed, which, you know, obviously will make sense. But now we are kind of all stacked up on top, and they're starting to point upwards ever so slightly. And out of this slow grind, I guess you could make a case that I've put in is selling some options around Bitcoin since we've been in this range. I did what's called a strangle, and that's where you pretty much the 7,000 strike, which is around there, and then I took the 6,000 strike, which is around there. And as long as price ping pongs in between this range, I'll get paid. So, you know, I felt like that was the safest thing I could put option premium on, and just wait until it breaks out, because I just don't, there's no way to have any conviction, like which side are you going to pick from here. It's almost impossible. Even on the hourly, like we've talked about, giving us like little hints, and it's been doing fairly well still, but it turns around like on a day-to-day basis, right? So you got right here in this area, it's like, watch out, get short. You know, it got you in for maybe a little scalpy scalp, but if you didn't take any off, it immediately went back to neutral, right? Which is funny because you can see all this price action in the middle where my crosshair is. And then right here, it's like, oh, get bullish. And, you know, there's a couple little whips, but, you know, there's a nice little spike up to like 750 just for a brief second. And then they're both battling up here in the power zone, which is pretty funny, which, you know, if you've watched the show a lot, that doesn't happen very often. So then it's hard to even take any angle. And then the bulls kind of get excited again right here. Then the bears get excited right here, both of them. Then they get excited for a short period of time. And I know this is like, sounds super crazy, But this is how crazy and confusing this price action is. I'm just trying to show it to you in this indicator. Even on this hourly one, it's just like, what the shit is going on? And the 4 hour has been showing us pretty much battling in the neutral zone most of this price action. They've only been able to kind of hold it down just to the trend lines. And as we've discussed too, a lot of these videos, you know, the oscillators kind of suck when you're range bound like this, especially when you're going into a real tight compression range. So it's best just to look at price and basic trend lines, which have been pretty much exactly what price, you know, kind of predicting the price action. Bounce, 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 bounce. One thing I still do not like, and I've been talking about this for a hot minute, bears will like this. If we go over here to the curve, and we make a little arch here, right, like that. Let me flip that around. This is definitely forming some type of rounded topness, right, which is never a good pattern. Actually, I should never say never. That's bad connotation. But usually is a really bad sign for bulls. So you have that plus pinging off of this bottom. Trend lines generally get weaker the more times you touch them. And this is a little debate I was having with my friend the other day. Is like, well, how do you argue this, right? You know, this top trend line has been tagged 5 to 8 times, depending how you want to measure it exactly, right? And then if we draw this like longer one, and I know a lot of people have been mostly doing it as a descending triangle, kind of like this. So I guess we'll just say that you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about the same amount of times, 5 to 7 times on the downside. So we're like completely like washed out, even on basic ass TA, where like if the trend line keeps getting tapped, it becomes weaker. But they're both like equally weak now. They both had almost the exact same touches on them. So just even more neutralness to, if you didn't have enough, I thought you might want some more to piss you off a little bit. So, yeah, like I said earlier, that's why I've just kind of like stepped back. I was like, dude, I have to take a break for a second because this is insane. This compression, as I showed y'all on the weekly chart, I've never even seen DMI do this on like anything. Especially something so volatile as Bitcoin, be stuck in this battle zone for the entire year pretty much, except, I mean, since the end of January. So we'll just call that the entire freaking year, right? And it just can't. Let me make this a little bit lighter because we're not quite there yet. There we go. Yeah, so it's just kind of like if you needed one more thing to tell you that we're way neutral, well, there it is. You got it. Look at this 852 time frame, just no volatility, guys. Volatility has been completely sucked out. The thing with the rounded top and also this, let me draw a little fib extension, which is we've been a retracement, which we've been talking about. Look how we keep struggling here, even at the 50 halfback. So ultimately like 6,900, which coincides pretty well with right above this channel. So you'll be able to get a fake out and not go over the 618. So this trend line channel, that's why I said earlier, be very careful of getting lured into long positions just because it broke this. And I know everybody seems to be thinking that that's the easy trade. And you know, once it does this for so long, it seems like that's the easiest trade, but it's usually not as easy as it seems, right? Confirmation would be closing a longer term time frame, like a daily, above the 618 retracement, which is about 69. Let's round up to like 69.50. All right. So, and that's interesting because that's a good $150 playroom of if it, let's say it broke out of the channel right now, and even more playroom if it goes sideways more, which is probably likely. And stays under this 50, then, you know, it becomes more and more distance, you know, maybe 200 bucks if it goes another week like this or another 4 days. And so I'm not getting too excited about anything bull related until we can even try to get over the 618. Okay, and if y'all haven't been paying attention to 618 retracements on any of these sell-offs, let me show you something. So you have the 618 here. I'm just going to draw a short little pink line for it. There's kind of a 618, right? And let me draw one here. And I did this the other day. Check out some of my other videos. I do timestamp all of them so you can go through them quickly. All right, let me draw this one here. There you go, 618, rejected right there. Tried the 50 once, got through it, did kind of what I was saying that we could see here, but ultimately let's just look at the 618. So 618, rejected, right? All right, let's go to this other price action. 618, bam, look at that, rejected right there, bam. All right, 618, rejected. Let's go back to the last run. Bam, let's go there. So we had a little fake out on this one, on the 618, just barely above it for about a day or two, but it couldn't get over the trend line. So this is a little bit different. You have to kind of think, you know, well, it got over it just barely. Yes, it did, but then the trend line was right there. And, you know, right here, we're kind of the other way around. Like, it's right above. The 618s have been right above the trend line in the last 3 times. But still, this is very, very similar. So you can see right here, 618, rejected. All right, let me erase that and go back one more again. Let's go back over here, pull that. And 618 is up right, roughly there. It's not science, that's close enough. 618 is right there. I'm just trying to make a point here. And let me zoom out a little bit on the daily. So there you go. Look at that, guys. Literally since, let's even try it on this big one. Let me not leave out the big dump. Wow, even on the freaking big dump. I mean, y'all, this is just crazy. All right, so there you go. Now let's talk about this for a second. Take away all the noise. No internals, just price. Y'all see this? Since the peak, we have failed at every single 618 retracement on the locals, like from peak to trough, local peak to troughs, every single time. And here we are now, coming up on it. That's why, to me, the trend line is not as important. It's there, and just considering where price action is relative to the trend line in the 618, it's not as important this time, but everybody's going to think it's important, right? Most people aren't. I mean, I know a lot of people use Fibonacci, but most people in crypto Twitter are talking. Man, my mouse wheel is funky. It makes it like seizure out. Sorry, maybe need a new mouse. But you can see that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times that, or 5 times that it has failed, and maybe 6. We don't know. We just gotta wait. Let time tell us. But yeah, do know that this is hardcore resistance, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put me an alert right here at about 69, 67. That sounds perfect. Give me a little bit above where everybody else is watching, just in case, you know, because having a nice little cushion, like right here, everybody thought it was gonna break out, but we knew better. We had this box drawn out, and said, hey, if it can't get above this, which it got rejected immediately. And we drew this box when price action was like back over here or something. And again, I just drew this box with lots of 6-1s, 618s. That good old fib action. I don't know why my alert thing didn't pop up. Let me try this again. Doesn't want me to do alerts. Alright, that's weird. I don't know why I can't do that. Huh. Odd. Very odd. What I guess I could do is just edit this one. I guess I can't even do that. What the hell is going on? Trading view? It's broke, Huh. That's really weird. Well, so I'll just have to add that later. Alright. So, again, 618 retracements keeps getting rejected over and over and over again. Now, that doesn't mean it will this time, but definitely has a higher probability of rolling over from here, I think, than breaking out. My ultimate scenario for both bulls and bears is to do bull traps. You know, everybody's just drawing a chart that looks like this, and they're like, oh, look, it's this way. Oh, look, it's this way. That's it. Well, yeah, of course. Of course that's what's going to happen. But, you know, it's funny, a lot of them aren't drawing charts like that, where price just still infinitely goes sideways, which could also happen. But with kind of some of this rounding, you can't see it as much on the daily as you can, like, on the 4-hour. But kind of seeing this rounding formation here, and then knowing that we're coming up right on this hardcore block of resistance in this area, it's going to take a lot of momentum to bust through this. And that goes back to the market cap. If the market cap can't get over, I would say like 230 billion while we're doing this move, and it just kind of does that, it's bullshit. It's crap. Doesn't matter. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for Bitcoin right now. Do not get pulled into... Oh, it's definitely breaking out here. I'm seeing it. People are jumping the gun, let's just put it that way. And of course that's my opinion. Everything in here is blah blah blah, not financial advice, crap, bullshit, blah blah blah. Alright, let's look at daily on Ethereum. Oh my gosh, there we go. Still hovering right around the 21. Very neutral, of course. Shocker, I know. How about on the 4-hour? 4-hour is looking a little bit bullish. And the last time we spoke a little, we had lots of... It was back here. We had a lot of coins, the top coins, all confirming some bullish action, which was a good sign. And that has been holding up thus far since the last video that I made. With a slight upward trajectory, and price is getting bought up fairly well here. And volume is okay. It's not great, but, you know, that's because everybody's bored with $2 moves on Ethereum. You know, how can you keep trading that? 4 hours starting to get bullish again, but again, these seem to get really, like, rejected and pulled back into the neutral zone, as you can see here, and here, and here, and here. Like, it just keeps happening to make us more neutral and confused. So there's not really anything on Ethereum that's given us a good advantage at all. Like, not like before. It really gave us a warning back over here that Bitcoin wasn't done selling off, but I mean, right now the bears are weak on this hourly, so there could be a little jolt coming up to this middle part of the channel. But again, it's so damn tough to read these compressions. You just have to wait till price breaks out. It's not really worth guessing, because that's kind of over the long term, of course. Interestingly enough, this 55 daily exponential is pretty much paired up and become one with the middle of this channel. So, yeah, this kind of does look like it wants to pop to the middle part of this channel. Let's look at it on the hourly real quick. Yeah, it kind of does look like it wants to make a little run to the middle of this channel, which is a pretty good play. That's a $20 move, so that's about 10%. So that's interesting. Let's go to Litecoin, see if it's giving us any kind of good info. Oh, Litecoin actually looks pretty bullish on the 4 hour, on the hourly. Not as much on the daily, because it kind of broke out of this channel. I'll go ahead and erase that, because that is obsolete now. Kind of broke out of that channel, but it is hovering right around this price action in the middle point of the channel. Again, you know, 60, we talked about it in the video a few days ago. 60 to 61 bucks is hardcore resistance on Litecoin, so I'm not getting excited until we can break over that. The hourly does look very bullish though on Litecoin specifically. This is definitely the more bear or bullish chart that I have seen since we've been on this channel doing this show today. So that is interesting. A little local 618 retracement is going to be about 61.90. So yeah, so 62 ultimately. But yeah, like we already talked about before, there's hardcore resistance there, and that's even showing us here with the long term. Exponential on the 4 hour. But on the hourly, though, Litecoin is looking pretty damn bullish for reals. So that's interesting. That's something to keep an eye on. I got an alert here set, so if it does break out here soon, I will get that message quick. Let's go to Ripple. The rips. Everybody likes the rips. So broke down, came to test the 55 support. Finding support there so far the last several days. But guess what? Now we're sandwiched in between the 21 and 55 like everything else is. Whee! How about on the daily? Oh, not on the daily though, only on the 850. So on the daily, we're actually finding support at the 21 and the 144 and the 377. That's pretty funny. All stacked up. And we are right hovering on the power zone here at about 26 on the DMI. So that is pretty damn interesting. Definitely don't want to take a position in this. I don't want to. 4 hour neutral, hourly slightly bullish, but still, like, again, it's this range is so damn tight. Even Ripple's been like in a little 5-cent range since this first pop, that little X rapid pump. And yeah, I don't have enough conviction that where I feel comfortable taking a good trade on this. Again, like I said earlier, it's like 50-50. I don't really want to take 50-50 trades. That's not my style. I guess you might be able to make an argument that you could get long here with a stop at about 44, which is probably about 10% or so. Yeah, it's about a 10% risk. But man, I don't think it's worth it. Like, I'm not even gonna put that setup on here because I don't think that is a great idea, especially now on the daily. We're closing below the longer term moving average now, just barely, and it's sandwiching in between the 144 and 377. But still, that momentum might be waning on XRP. Might be. Only on the hourly does it look slightly bullish. Other than that, nothing too damn exciting. One thing that I did see that was popping fairly well was the EOS. This trade's ended up working out for us pretty damn good. We set it a while ago. Let me drag that box over. We set it back over here around 550, and you got one chance to take off and manage some of it. Then it just stayed in profits for a while. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Stayed in profits for a little bit, and now it's coming back to test upper end of the range. So this trade worked out fairly well. If this was me and I only took half off here, y'all know I like to take about 20-30% off when I get up into the half part of the range and then let the rest ride to see what happens. Given that the market's real fidgety right now and you get another opportunity to take it off in this upper part of the range, I would probably take that opportunity faux show. I do not have a position on this right now because that's about a 7% gain, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, because you don't know if it's going to roll over. You got massive resistance here, then you got the longer term exponential coming down to meet price. Excuse me. Oh, that was a deep one. Lack of oxygen to the brain there. Still kind of breaking out of this channel ever so slightly. Real bullish above 625 on EOS. On a daily close, that is. That will probably, a daily close above 625 will probably give us a quick snap run to $7 on EOS. But, you know, this is already the trade we had set up. We're not going to do anything with this. There's not any good trade here at the moment, especially being out of this channel. It'd be kind of dangerous to take a short from here. And I know you could look at it on a 4 hour and say, hey, we've been banging off of the longer term moving average for, you know, the whole or most of this year, and it's right up against it. Yeah, you could if you wanted to, but I just don't like the what Bitcoin's doing. This move that's going to come out of this is going to be massive, and it's probably going to be a trap move, up then down hardcore, or down and then up hardcore. It's not going to be so simple like everybody's just drawing these little arrows like up or down like this. It's not going to be like that. Markets rarely do what everybody thinks that they're going to do, right? And most people actually think that Bitcoin has already totally bottomed. I think what's his name, Ferguson or something, he did a poll and he had like 6,000 or 7,000 responses, and about half of them said that Bitcoin is bottom, and then the other like majority of the leftovers said that it was going to bottom by the end of this year. And then only like 14% said, oh yeah, it's next year, we haven't seen the bottom yet. So that's kind of interesting sentiment there, you know, for what it's worth. But yeah, EOS is still looking fairly good here. Again, I can't really get bearish on EOS until we break, you know, 550 and ultimately like 480. So there's that. Let's go to privacy coins, see what they're doing. The Dash Man. Dash, the trade that we have set up on Dash is kind of just being boring and not doing crap. Pretty much at like a break even at this point, unless you got shook out here, but it didn't even get outside the red, not even on a wick or tail, I should say. So you shouldn't have managed anything there. Don't overmanage. It's a bad idea. Don't overtrade. You set it up here without bias. You know, don't let your emotions shake you out, because a lot of times when that happens, it'll rip to the other side. It's pretty funny. Did get a chance to take off about half though here, if you were diligent and did so. If not, it's pretty much just dead ass flat. Internals are neutral on the daily. Wow, they're really weak. If you can see here, we're in the weak zone. We're not even in the battle zone. Even on the 4 hour, it's the same. The hourly is trying to get bullish. How about on the 850? Maybe, if I can open it. Doesn't look like I can. Man, I'm having some issues here with TradingView. It's going down. On the hourly, that we have found a lot of resistance at the longer term moving average. Here, 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 here. Little fake out here. And right there. Pretty much since we had this trade on, it's getting compressed. Still though, still a decent setup. Should be like break even. Nothing too exciting there though. And there is no, I guess you could say this is kind of doing what EOS is doing with this trend line and trying to break out of the move here and out of this price action. We do have some good support printing here at about 170. So, which is funny because that's about where this box is set up. So 170, below that on Dash is going to get real bearish. And to close above like 200 on a, let me go to a daily. A close below or above about 200, that should give us that run to this top of the box. And very likely to this purple exponential, which would probably put us around like 225 or so. But, you know, again, what's BTC going to do? Let's go to Monero. Jesus, look at this compression even on a Monero. It's like $3. So, very neutral. I mean, this is the same shit, different day, guys. We are just getting bled out. And this is testing our patience and our will. Even this trade setup has gone completely damn sideways. One thing that does kind of suck is it is breaking this trend line, although just ever so slightly. So nothing with conviction yet. The hourly is bullish though, so that's nice. At least there's something bullish on there. Neutral, how about the weekly? Yeah, it's compressed too. Look at that, just like BTC is. And you're like, how could it be compressed when price is down so much? Well, you know, it pops and how the math's calculated on these, you know. It's saying that this range is just getting very, very compressed. And it did, even from back here. It even got more compressed. But of course it did. Everything's getting compressed. This is compressed nation. Crypto compressed, dude. That's all it is. That's all it's about. Alright, let's go to Monero, or not Monero, sorry, I was just going to say Monero's pretty much blah, boring. Alright, So let's just go to equities because they've had some really big broke below that last week on Thursday. Officially, it's been a while. Had a little fake out here, but the next day had follow through and went and tested the 55. So that does change the narrative slightly. And that does give me a little bit more bearish bias, slightly, like just ever so slightly, because the problem is it's still holding above the previous all-time high back over here, and it's getting caught, which is funny. That coincides perfectly with the 55 daily exponential. But it does kind of look like we want to come test this green trend line before maybe resuming. I'm not sure. This is kind of a little wild card. Elections are coming up soon here in a few weeks. The midterms are. So that's going to provide some more catalyst, some more movement. In the which direction, of course, nobody knows. But right now, we are getting caught at these all-time highs. So it's slightly bullish just off of that. Daily internal is neutral. We're very bearish on the 4-hour, and we've been really damn bearish on the 1-hour since back here on October 3rd. And you can see we pretty much sold off ever since then with nice face ripper rallies. This is very textbook in S&P loves to do this. Sell it off, rip it, sell it off, rip it. This rip did get above the 21 exponential, though. So it's a little bit different than these last ones. So it might have a little snap up to kind of in this 2,900 range. It's only 8 points away. Let's go to the 3-day. Neutral on the 3-day. Weekly just went neutral. So the weekly was bullish for a while, and now it has gone back to neutral. Let's see on NQ. NQ daily is very bearish. 3-day is about to get bearish. We still need another couple days on that. And the weekly just went neutral too on NQ. And if you look at NQ's NASDAQ, if you don't know, we do have massive bears. But again, look, the bulls are in this forgotten zone is kind of what I call it. And they usually, that's usually where exhaustion happens on either side. You can see if we go back on this chart for the 4-hour here and in this range, and then this range, and this range here. But it did have another little dump, and this range didn't settle out. So this one is the outlier. Got back here real low and had a face ripper, and then just kept selling off all the way to this trend line. Now, something that's interesting is this trend line that I have drawn on here is broken officially, and you can't even draw this to, I mean, I guess you could draw it like that or something. I don't know, that's a little crazy. I'm gonna keep it how I had it on there. It is broken now, so that's not the best sign. Especially NASDAQ is looking pretty damn bearish, and now we are below the longer term moving exponential here. So this looks like it does want to come test down somewhere in this range on this trend line. Which that trend line goes back a lot farther. That goes all the way back to February of this year. I'm sorry, of last year. February of last year. So, an earnings season is next week too. It started, it's like mid-October, so there are stuff reporting now in this week, but most of the bulk and the good big companies that everyone cares about are reporting next week. So, interesting timing here for a little sell-off. If there's any kind of love in those, that's going to ratchet that market up pretty fast. Let's see. Let's go to Russell, because the Russell has been looking extra super weak. Let's go to a daily. What's up, Transfix? How you doing, man? Let's see here. Daily on RUT has looked real bad for a couple of weeks, like 3 weeks now. You know, got officially bearish on the daily DMI right here on this candle. That was last, it was October 2nd. So, yeah, and continued to go down another, what is that, 60 points? Yeah, it's a pretty decent move in the Russell. We're down, I think, about 6%. Let me see. Oh, 7. So after today, we did hit about 7% down. That's a big move in equities, y'all. That's definitely nothing to to just shrug off, right? And on the 4-hour DMI, it has actually got bearish right here and never looked back. So if you do use the 4-hour trading, which is what I like to use in equities, DMI, you know, it was telling you, watch out, get short or hedge, maybe go delta neutral here at about 1700, and then ultimately you get real bearish breaking and snapping the 377. You can see that that's held on the 4-hour, you know, most of the time. When it did get breached, it was pretty nasty to the downside, or it hovered around it, but it's definitely a notable spot. And here we are, we got real nasty to the downside. So not looking great. Russell's looking pretty gnarly here. I don't see anything that's super bullish yet. Like this little rally today in the latter part of the day on the trading session earlier, that's like the most bullish thing that I'm seeing. But again, look at this. Hourly is getting rejected at the 21 exponential. So do be cautious here on equities. Let's go to the Dow Jones, because it was the one that was looking the best for a long time. Yeah, look, the Dow Jones is still holding its 21 exponential, so it's showing relative strength against the rest of the market. The internals on the daily are neutral, 4-hour neutral, 1-hour bearish, 3-day still bullish, and weekly still bullish. So the Dow Jones is actually showing relative internal strength to all other indices at this moment. So that is very interesting. So maybe it's giving us a little sign like, hey, we're not quite going to roll over yet. Let's wait till earnings season, get a little bit closer to elections, which are the 6th of November, and then we can get some little scare hype stuff. But, you know, it's kind of, the Russell, though, man, is just, oh, got to put in the right ticker, I guess. The rut is just screaming like, ugh, this is not looking good. Now it does move, it's small cap, so it is more volatile, so they can, obviously you've seen them fall off here and snap back, here snap back, here snap back. You know, but given with the elections and earnings season, this is very interesting price action right here. I am monitoring it very closely for sure. I'm actually going to go ahead and put an alert down here. No, I'm not, because the alert function isn't working, as we found that out earlier. I'm not sure what the hell's going on there. Let's go to crude oil. So crude oil had a nice little dump earlier this morning. The last few days it has. We were talking about how there's major resistance here around the middle of this trend line, which kind of played out so far. Got rejected off of it, but it's still well above the 21 exponential, and it's printing a hammer style candle at the moment, but still bullish on the daily on that, bearish on the 4-hour, and let's see if we can't get above like 74.60. This is definitely going to be bearish still. Oh yeah, oh man, yeah, so 74.60 is definitely the line in the sand on oil right here. So so yeah, had a nice big ass run. If y'all remember on the other videos, we were getting long oil around here, and ultimately after this confirmation of re-entering the channel and breaking out of 21, that was our ultimate lowest risk setup for a trade, and it just ramped up. It's pretty funny, that video I made. It was like, oh, it only needs to go $2 more to get to the line, and like that morning it just hit it. It like gapped up to that, which is pretty wild. Oil is a big mover. Lots of opportunity in oil to trade. If you're looking for something and crypto's boring you, oil will not bore you. I trade it all the time, and it moves like a mofo. You have double-sided action too, which is really nice. And you're like, well, what about 2014? All right, that one time you didn't. Let me show you that if you don't know. Here's 2014, and then it just went from like 100 to 45 with no upticks. So it does happen, right? But if you're like looking at that, just to kind of little food for thought, look at this 21 exponential, the thing I say that most people need to use if you're just starting, a 21 and 55, and keep it real simple. Maybe RSI you can throw on there, but just off that, we couldn't even get above the 21 exponential the entire time of this sell-off. So, and look at this on the daily, even DMI, for almost an for almost 8 months, it just was above the power zone, and that's a long time. That's really rare to stay up here that long. So there wasn't anything that was even telling you to get bullish, and I know people will be like, oh, I'm going to buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip here. Oh, I know it's the bottom here. I know it. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, damn it. And then it kept going, by the way. You had like these little spurts. Boom. So you got a little fake out, but I mean, even with this down move and then getting like a longer signal here and here, you know, you still had $6-7, and each dollar in oil is $1,000. So a notional amount. So just a little food for thought there. But right now, back to recent price action. Ultimately can't get super bearish until we break about 22 or 72.50, and right now we got hardcore resistance printing around the 74.60 level. So I'll be looking to enter some trades around there when we get a little bit closer to that price action. All right, let's go to gold real quick, and then I'll hit your tickers there, Mr. Transfix. Gold sold off, got monkey hammered today. Just got bearish again on the 4-hour. Kind of neutral on the daily. The 1 hour has been real bearish actually since back here at what is that? Last Friday. It was kind of warning, giving a little warning. So we were talking about like gold last week having a nice little pump, GDX making an inverted head and shoulders. It played out fairly well. There was a nice gap in there to the upside to pull out some profits, but you would have had to done it literally that day. So that's that gold and precious metals are overall bearish in the longer run, as I've discussed a lot. But I do think they're in for like still a slight little pop, and maybe here around election time, which is right where my cursor is at the moment. So nothing really. Still kind of having this sloppy head and shoulders pattern, inverted, I should say. But right now, we are just kind of looking for the 4-hour to get back bullish, which would be a close above. Oh, right where it closed today, pretty much. So a close above like 1880. So real damn close. We'll see. This week is going to be real interesting because how the market opened today was and played out was pretty. I like the price action, but it was definitely kind of confusing, right? You know, that wouldn't be the worst thing. Might be a great buy opportunity, especially if the House does win or loses, like when we get a Democrat in the House or the Senate, and we go into stalemate and then nothing can get done. Markets love when that happens because then everything's the same, right? And then they don't have, there's no outlier moves like Trump tariffs or whatever the shit you want to put on there. Flash crash, please. Yeah, that would be great. Trans, you know it. You know, if we just like look at SPX, I don't know if you were in here a minute ago for when I was looking at. We are finding a little support on the 55, which has been decent support before. But we are getting a little bit bearish, though. The Dow Jones is the only one that's giving us a little bit of light. But yeah, if we could do a little flash crash down to this long-term trend line, and all of the indices kind of have that same type trend line going back to sometime last year. Yeah, we'll see. But again, the S&P and the Dow kind of look a little stronger, especially since price is finding support right here at this previous high. So breaking below that, though, man, this definitely should have should have momentum to just do nice little mini flash crash. How many percents would that be? That'd be about 3%. Yeah, that'd be nice. That's a good move. All right, let's go over here to OILU. I'm going to oil you up, Transfix. You ready? The hell is this? Oh, of course it is. I knew it had to be some leveraged fund. You love trading those leveraged funds, don't you? Don't ya? Yeah, so this looks like a ultra, what is this? Ultra long. So, yeah, definitely beast moding. After I just, I just did kind of oil analysis. I think you've been in here for that. So I think that that kind of coincides directly with this. you can see this had a very nice move here, but it is showing. Let me put some horizontals on here real fast. Still bullish on the daily. I don't like to use internals as much on ETFs. I don't find that they work as good. They still work, but kind of like going directly to the underlying for like internal analysis. But on the hourly, this is bearish. On the 4 hour, it's bullish. In the daily, it's still bullish. But since this is based off of oil price, I'm assuming. Yeah, I mean, just crude oil ETF. You know, it's kind of similar, very similar pattern here. And if we break these kind of areas, what is that, 63.5, which is also with the 21 daily exponential, you know, that definitely sets us up to hit up into the middle of this range, maybe like 50, 55 bucks. If you were long this, I'd definitely be taking some monies off the table. Long oil stuff I took off last week just because you get those big ass moves like that, you know. I talk about it all the time, managing winners, guys. That's the secrets. No one talks about that. You got to take the winners off the table, or you never realize those gains. They're fake. It's just paper gains, just like a paper loss. Everyone's like, well, if you don't close it, it's not a loser yet. Well, if you don't close it, it's not a winner yet either. If you don't ever make money and let that shit go, like if you got long here on this breakout, and you're like, oh, hell yeah, I'm a genius. You know, that's a good move. It's a really good move right here from the breakout. Even if you just bought the breakout, that's about 12%. But now if you didn't do anything and didn't manage none, you're even now. Then you're going to get pissed. Don't forget about that emotional capital. So transfix, I'm going to say that it's, if you have longs, be very careful here because there is some divergence too. Actually, let's go back over to oil real quick and see if we can see that panning out in oil. Yes, we can. We can see it actually on the DMI and we can see it on the RSI. So there's definitely some bearish divergence that's been building on the 3-day this whole year. Not so much on the daily though, like ever so slightly, but it's not as defined, but it's definitely slightly there. But on the 3-day, it's very clear. How about on the 4 hour? 4 hour, no. 4 hour still looks okay. No any divergences. But as I said earlier, which will coincide directly with that stock, OILU, is getting above 60 or 74.60 and breaking below this 73.5 level is going to be bearish, and bullish above that. That's kind of what I'm just going to wait for that. Let's go over here to UGAZ. Ooh, you're getting in some of that nat gas. Good old nat gas. That popped hard today. Man, did you play that? Nat gas is on fire today. Nat gas, yeah, this move is serious. I'm actually going to go over to the nat gas futures, that's based off of anyway UGAZ is, because those charts always look so damn ugly. I can't get as much from them as I can these charts. All right, let's see here. Do that. 16 and 26. All right. Bears are in the forgotten zone here. Doesn't mean that they are forgotten, right? But they are in that area, so that's interesting. And this is a big ass pump. I think maybe this is kind of like a little going into the winter pump or something like that. Let's look back here. Yeah, I'm not sure. You know, I don't really care about news, but this is looking a little bullish on the daily. You're having everything cross over as of today on the longest term exponential that has been pretty damn flat for, you know, most of this year. How about on the longer term? Let's look at a 3-day. 3-day is getting bullish. Weekly is about to get bullish. Let's see. Hold on. No, it actually just did. It just did. They just had a weekly close. So the weekly just got bullish on nat gas. So maybe how to play this is dips. I don't know if you sell options or not, or play options transfix, but maybe doing some put spreads when this dips off would be like the safest way to play this, because nat gas is a very big product. I've traded the futures before and the options on it. It's fun. It's good stuff, but very large notional amount that you're wielding. But looks pretty damn bullish, though, I must say. 4 hour has a lot of divergence, though. Has a lot of bearish divergence, so that's probably to play, you know, bearish advocate. Yeah, you got a lot of divergence on the 4 hour, but that's the only place where it's kind of showing up. But it is very notable. As you can see, kind of this trend line down here and the flatness in RSI while it's kind of breaching the 50 zone on these dips. So I don't know if you've been long this or thinking about getting long, but it'd be hard for me to buy this up here, especially just way at the top of this range. If you go back, you know, like 2 years almost, I mean, you're really in that upper 90 percentile range. But we are going into the season, right? Winter season. Usually nat gas, especially November, has like a really good pump. You can see it here. There's a big pump in November. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's a big pump in November. That was a January pump. There's a nice little November gap. Here's a nice little November pump. Let's see what back over here. Oh, not this November. Dumped hard in November 2015. It was just really bearish then. But yeah, it's definitely looking a little bit more bullish here. And given that we're exporting this and some tariff crap, I mean, who knows? This could get some legs and maybe get up here to test this upper range, like $4 or so. That'd be a hell of a move. But right here, I'm a little neutral. If anything, I'm going to wait for pullbacks and then do some kind of strategy to get long on this. Is kind of my thought on the NG. All right, man. Transfix. You want me to peep anything else? I'm going to be signing off, sir. Go ahead and do Bitcoin real quick. Final thoughts while you're thinking about that, and that relays to you through the internets. All right, since that doesn't matter, internals right now, they're so confusing. And again, here we go. Boom. 618 rejections for the whole damn year. Will it do it again? No one knows. But do be careful, like I said earlier. Don't get super, super bullish just because this is going to break out of this triangle no matter what in the next day. Now, what's going to be real hilarious is if we literally do this. Right? Like if we just kind of do like and just like keep doing this same old crap, man. Then this is definitely 2015, and if we do that, then I'll probably be a little more bullish in the longer term, like towards the beginning of next year. Ultimately, though, you know, I've showed you on my chart where I want this thing to come down hard, fast, and then pop up. But like I also think too, we're at this level of like whatever move is going to happen, it's actually going to be a counter move. It's going to be a trap. It's not going to be the continuation of that. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Again, that's just an opinion. I don't trade my opinions. I'm waiting for price to prove that to me. It has not done that thus far. Again, consolidating. We've been in this party almost since I've been doing these videos. We've been partying in this green box. I promise someday we will get out of it, y'all. We really will. And it's going to happen soon. It's going to happen soon. I guess if I don't move the box and it does go sideways, it can just go out this way. I never thought about it. Breaking the box horizontally. I'm just kind of joking a little bit there. Kind of joking. One thing that does suck is the daily has crossed below the 200 right here. So that is every moving average below the longest term one, which is a 377. That hasn't happened, let's see, in a long time. Let's go back. Go back. Go back. The last time that happened actually was December 2014 right here, and super sideways action too. Look at that, guys. Look at this. Kind of a similar type pattern even. You know, you could kind of draw a triangle. Oh man, you can't even see that, can you? Let me brighten that up. We'll just do pink real fast. Bright ass pink. Fat pink line. And you could even do this one too right here, right? So we're kind of making this going into it. Now, it didn't get as far as where we are now, but it is kind of similar. Oh, let's erase that line. Don't need it. But yeah, so it hasn't happened since 2014 before we rolled over for real and had a really nasty crash in December. And I'll just leave y'all with this final chart. Where is it? Give me 1 second. Why isn't this scrolling? What the hell's going on, man? Alright, here we go. I'll just leave y'all with this chart. Don't forget, October is a crazy surprise month. Alright, y'all? Does this say freaking 66.15? Is that live right now? Hold on. Wow, so that is interesting. I didn't notice that until I just pulled up Bitstamp here to show y'all this longer term chart, because I just wanted to show y'all the oh, that's not my good one, damn it. But anyway, that's interesting. We just stumbled on, look at the discrepancy in price. Bitfinex is at 66.88 and Bitstamp is at 66.14. Wow, what about Coinbase? That's interesting. Coinbase is also at 66.16. What else can we look at? Kraken, everybody's favorite. Let's see, where is Kraken? I didn't even see that shit on here. Guess no one really cares about Kraken, huh? Huh, it's not even on here. Weird. Well, alright, so there you go. Very large discrepancy in the price right now. I'm not sure if, I'm not sure. That's usually not a great sign, but it doesn't lean bearish or bullish. It's kind of just like, it just means that the compression, it's more compression proof. Woo! But yeah, wow, that means it's definitely going to get resolved quickly. Oh, I know what we can look at. Let's look at XBT. Let's look at futures on BitMEX. Okay, so BitMEX, so Bitfinex has massive premium on it right now, about $60, $70 worth of premium. Or about actually $70, $80, I'm sorry, a premium. So that's interesting. So yeah, just more confirmation that a gigantic move is coming. But I just really have a feeling that the gigantic move is going to be met with a more giganticer counter move. And I'm going to leave it with that great English right there. I'm going to wrap this up. If y'all find value in this or anything, please sub, bell, and smash. I do these, try to do them daily. I'm trying to get it in. I'm trying to do them around this time right now. And this is No Noise Research, y'all. I am Z-Rex, your host. It's been a lovely Monday to start this week off with y'all. Should be an interesting one. Alright, so with that said, watch this 618 retracement. Will it fail us for the 6th time? Or will we finally... Is 6 time the charm? Or will 6 times be the charm to the downside? That's where we're at. Nothing's changed. Story of our life in the last 2 weeks, right? Go have fun with your friends and family. Put the alerts on. Go live your life. Don't stare at charts all day. It'll drive you crazy. I do know this from personal experience. All right, much love. Happy trading. And I'll see y'all guys tomorrow.